Welcome to another edition of Tool School. I'm Laura from Stitch in Durango, Colorado, and I'm here today to introduce you to the 3 piping feet for the Bernina 8 series sergers. The 3 feet correspond to size of cording. So we have the small foot for a small cording of 2 to 3 millimeters in diameter. We have the large foot for the larger cording of 4 to 5 millimeters in diameter, and the extra large foot that looks a little bit different because it has this feature on the side that allows you to adjust the foot to accommodate 6 millimeter, 8 millimeter, and 10 millimeter diameter cording. Now I say cording because that's what goes inside something. Cording can be decorative and can be a surface design on something, and you'd sew that with your sewing machine. But for today, cording goes into wrapped fabric, wrapped and sewn around it to create piping, and then piping is inserted into a seam. You can do this on garments, home decorating items, bags, pouches. So let me show you using the large cording how you create piping on your machine. So I'm setting it up backwards for me so that you can see it as it would present itself to you on the serger. The foot is nice and long so that you can place your cording in the groove on the back and hang on to it while you situate your fabric strip under the presser foot, lower your presser foot, and the feed dogs are going to grab that fabric before you even start stitching. So that all you have to do is make sure that your cording is laying nice and straight in that fold and that your fabric edges are aligned. Then you can start serging to create your piping. Now you can use a 3-thread overlock or 4-thread overlock, narrow or wide. And you may ask, what's the width of the fabric that you use? Well, the general rule of thumb is that your fabric should be 10 times in width what your cording is in diameter. 5 millimeter cord, 50 millimeter fabric, and that equals 2 inches. That gives you enough fabric to comfortably wrap around your cord, allow the presser foot to do its job against the feed dogs and hang onto your fabric while the knife cuts off a nice amount on the edge to neaten up your stitch. When you want to sew your cording in your piping into your fabric, then you take fabric, right sides together, place your piping inside. You can line it up with the edge of the fabric or a little bit in so that the knife blade, it all depends on what your seam allowance is for your project. And then you can use the same machine, the same foot, the same stitch settings if you want to sew your piping into your seam. If you want to, you could start off with a 3 millimeter stitch and move to a narrow stitch, a 3-thread narrow, and move to a 3-thread wide so that you end up with a very neat and tidy inside like this. Or if you don't even want to change your stitch type, you can change your knife position so that you do the same thing. You're not cutting off your stitches, they're encased in here. It's just that your new stitch is going to be a little bit wider so that it neatens everything up nice and tidy. So it does not take a lot of experience to make really accurate, perfect piping. So again, we've got the small with the S foot, C16S or L16S. We've got the large, kind of medium, with the C16L or the L16L, cording, piping inserted between 2 layers of fabric. Then we come to this, which is similar in a lot of ways. It is still a nice, long, clear foot. Bernina does that so that you can see what's going on. You can position your cording where you need to, your fabric where you need to, and just get everything nice and situated before you start serging. I consider that kind of a safety feature because my hands don't have to be close to this being all fiddly. I can see that it is just fine. So we have the cording extra large, piping extra large, and instead of sewing it into a seam, I've taken a tip from a YouTube serger designer extraordinaire, and she takes 3 piping pieces, 3 different fabrics, sews them together here at the top with her sewing machine, braids them, or you can just clip them together, braids them, and then you can finish it off with this neat little pocket at the bottom or insert it into a seam. Your sewing machine will sew right through this cording, and I think that makes a fabulously creative serger piping. You can use decorative thread. This is just regular thread. I wanted to talk about how you can use it in garments, probably smaller items, larger items. Decorative thread will work on both. It's a fabulous utilitarian use and a decorative use for the 3 different feet that Bernina makes for the 8 series serger. If you've liked this video, subscribe, give us thumbs up. See you next time. Bye.